Good morning. It is Tuesday, and it is August 3rd, about 8:30 in the morning. A little bit after, about 8:45 in the morning. Just looking at the chart. It's the 8:30 candle is where this profile stopped at. That's where I got 8:30 from. Anyhow, let's just take a look. This is the 15-minute chart, and just wanted to sort of start here because this is the larger balancing period that we are in currently. You can see we're right basically smack dab in the middle. So we're opening up basically right at the point of control, right at value. And, price essentially can go either way from here. Now, we do have rising sort of higher lows here, but this isn't a structural low. It did not lead to a break of structure to the top side, right? It didn't break this high here. So I don't put a lot of weight in this. I actually picked up some micro contracts, some MES, micro S&P futures contracts right around here yesterday. I'm slightly down on them this morning. But I knew this was a little bit dicey, kind of taking them right at the center point of this auction. I wasn't sure. There was a bunch of volume previously from here. And so if this was going to continue higher lows, I sort of figured this might be a logical place to do it. But I took a small position so that I could put my stop underneath the larger rotation because that is, it just this was maybe this was like a maybe price is going to stop here, but I do think we are going to eventually resume our bullish trend. We're still in a bigger picture bullish trend, and so nothing wrong with scaling into some of those positions here. And I'll probably take profits towards the top of this range on that if it does make its way back up. If it makes its way down lower, I'll probably just add to the position at this point. If it takes out this low, then I'll exit. That's my plan. You see, I've got this purple dotted line. It's a bit hard to see, but purple dotted line coming across here lines up with the bottom of the channel, and that is pretty precisely the low volume node that marks sort of the end of this larger balancing area. Okay. Now within here, we have some little higher volume areas, right? We've got this higher volume node up here. As you can see across here, we had a little consolidation there. All of that created this little high volume chunk here. Same thing down here. High volume chunk here is from some of these consolidations and these larger reversals that took place towards the lower end here. So we have these like little mini balancing areas that tend to kind of suck price down a little bit. But overall, so kind of got that marked out, right? This red dotted line is sort of, that's that higher volume node. We can see we bounced off that yesterday. That was the low point of the day because that sort of end of the day sell-off occurred. And same thing here. I can pop this one back on. I think I just removed it because I had a lot of lines on the chart, but it's the same kind of thing there. And then in here, there was some balancing in here, which is where some of these things come from. Just a little reminder as to what some of our lines and values are all about. So this one's from here, and we might be able to adjust that a little bit on a smaller time frame. But that's essentially where that is. This one I don't think I need anymore. It was a consolidation. You can see it got tested, rejected down there. This level was really nice, by the way. This level was a really nice, break of support, and then we got this huge sell-off. So that worked out really well. Now, a couple other things that happened yesterday. I had pointed out this low volume node sort of gap fill area at 43.95. And there was also, sorry, it wasn't a low volume node. It was a chunk of volume off of this end of day consolidation from Friday as well. So I actually put in a long there that just got blown right through. And when it came back down into some of this lower volume, I actually I took another long and kind of made back those losses. What I didn't do, and I wish I would have done, but I had a meeting coming up and was already started to kind of pull away from my charts, was usually when a level like that, I mean, there's significant volume over here for just that little end of day movement. I mean, this was a really significant volume chunk, right? So when that kind of level got blown through, this is, by the way, where I took the other long off of on when we kind of blew through here and then we had a divergent candle. I took a long off the top of it. But when you blow through a level like this, you can often just take a short, from the other side. So I had a long, it got blown through, take a short. You can see that short would have played out perfectly right off that level. I didn't take that trade, but it would have worked out really nice. This was another short that would have worked out really nice just based off of this consolidation. I was watching it, but it was just the minutes leading up to a meeting I had with one of my coaching clients, and I don't like being distracted, but you can see there's a bunch of volume right there. So this came right up into that volume, right into the high volume node. Pushed past it a little bit, but I would have put my stop up above some of this stuff. And then we got that short beautifully down. That would have been a nice play right there. So Some really nice moves yesterday, really nice trading. I ended the day positive, so that was nice. A nice way to start the week off. And I took a few trades on gold as well, but I'm not going to show those here right now. So anyhow, we're just into this same consolidation, right? When we look at this on the bigger picture, we can just see there's been all this consolidation here, and this is where everybody's agreeing on price right now. And so until something rocks the boat and really changes this auction one way or the other, we can expect to look for shorts towards the top of the range, look for longs towards the bottom of the range. That's what's been working since July 26th, ultimately, right? As we've just been balancing in here. So until something changes, that's what we're looking for. My bias, big picture, is still long, right? But you never know. We might get a deeper pullback. All these crazy economic times that we're in. We had this nice deep pullback here, and we got above all of this stuff. So it stands to reason that we should, balance up here a little bit and then maybe continue a push up. But maybe we'll continue some choppy waters. I mean, summer's not over yet. And, there'll be a lot more volume coming into the market once summer ends. So this is just this larger sort of consolidation. I'm going to remove that just to get it out of my way. This dark line is the overall balancing area point of control. That's what I have, that darker red dashed line. And then I don't need this gap fill anymore. That's sort of done and over with. This is still our 1 hour low volume node. And that's just this little low volume node. And then we have this larger low volume node here. So those are kind of like the areas that we're looking at, depending on how tight, like the tighter that we coil in here, the more that this will act as rejection. And even up here, like there's a low volume node here that could act as some rejection. In fact, it's a little bit of what's acting as a market top right now. So we'll just put that in there, LVN. So, we've got sort of our main point of control. We've got this LVN there, but then these other little high volume nodes after it, right, that are gonna also act as support and resistance. And then obviously the auction trails off towards the top side, trails off towards this low volume node here, which is also in line with the bottom of our channel, right? So that channel is really relevant right now. It basically represents the balancing period that we're in. So that's all I'm watching. So I'm in this kind of, this MES swing trade. I've got my stops way down here. I decided to take a really nice big stop and big target on that, just ease my way into it. And I can always, like I said, scale in and add more. There's not like a whole lot more to add because just not a lot's changed, right? We've been in this balancing area for days and weeks on end now. So not a lot has really changed. Levels are all kind of just there, and we just sort of have to wait and see what the market gives us from that bigger picture standpoint, right? If we just look back at kind of like the overnight action and yesterday, so obviously we've got this consolidation from yesterday. If we made our way up to 4406.75, that would be a nice area to look for shorts, or at least to exit your longs, right? That's a big high volume chunk there. Again, within the context of this other sort of larger high volume chunk as well. And, if we continue to go up from there, like most of these levels up here got tested. So I'm not like super concerned about any of these levels up here. You can see there's not a ton of volume on them anyway. So that's kind of what I'm watching as far as that sort of push down goes. Everything else in here was pretty efficient price action right up until this morning. And we've got this kind of rotation that then led to this big sell-off. So again, just looking at that, if the point of control is moving or if that's just because I moved the thing. I'm going to move this up here. So just looking at that, maybe a short there, but again, that is the main point of control for this whole larger auction, this whole like weeks long auction. And sometimes it's a little tricky to trade away from that because it's so magnetic. And sometimes when price is already away from it and then comes back to it, it tends to want to go through. So that's one thing we want to be careful of, is that if price does come back up, it may not stop here. It may want to start testing some of these upper areas of this balancing area. So I'm always a little bit cautious if I'm on a short time frame, that shows a setup, but the setup is basically near a higher time frame point of control and moving away from a higher time frame point of control. I always want to be a little bit cautious there because that can be a little tricky. But you can see it worked out here, right? It worked out in a lot of these areas. You can see that main point of control really held as a resistance level, and then we came up above its support. So if we came back from the bottom again, I mean, a short around 43.93, 43.94 wouldn't be terrible. Um, you could enter a little bit later even and try and go like 43.94.50, something like that for the smaller auction if it makes its way up there. But you can see how nicely this level has acted as support and resistance, right? This one too. This was that other sort of more minor um, high volume node. You could see it was resistance here, and then it came back above it, and then it was support. And then when we broke it, we really flew through. So if we come back up there again, that could be resistance there. Um, I'd be more apt to take this trade up here, honestly, just because it offers better risk reward. Like this one here, there's nowhere really to put your stop against unless you go way up here. So I'd rather take this one and just put my stop a little bit closer, and I don't need as big of a move to take profit on. So I'm kind of just going to watch the market unfold. Yesterday was kind of a slow, choppy day until we had that big sell-off, and I think today could be more of the same. It's still earnings season, and we just got to see what comes out. There's no major news today, otherwise that we need to worry about. So take it slow, play it by ear, see what the market gives us. If you want to join us in the trade room, dpmtrades.com, just click on community. You can join our Discord channel. Again, we took a lot of trades yesterday in it. We had a nice winning day yesterday, and again, we have some swing trades on in the micros right now. Our swing trades on the indexes tend to be pretty high probability and pretty profitable. They're very easy to follow. So, yeah, man, that's it. Watching the markets. We'll see what unfolds. Hope you all have a good trading day. And if you want to join us in the room, I'd be happy to see you there.